Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited for this video. I will be showing you guys how I use those really cute Dollar Tree grapevine heart wreaths 6 different ways. So hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into it. For my first project, I will be using this really pretty shiny red charger plate along with this cute little heart pattern tissue paper. I'm going to go in with my Mod Podge and just give it a really good thick layer on the inset of that charger plate, and then I'm going to smooth out all those ripples and bubbles the best that I can. This next part is fairly cringy, I know. Bear with me, I don't know why I didn't cut it to fit the first time, and my X-Acto knife is really dull, so yeah, the odds were against me. But I do fix it here in a second. I just go in with a second layer of that tissue paper, but this time I cut it to fit the exact size of that middle of the charger plate. So this time it worked so much better. Again, I just go in with that Mod Podge, give it a good thick layer, and then I start at one end this time and work my way to the other end when I'm smoothing out the ripples and the bubbles of that tissue paper. And then I do grab the closest thing to me that I can use as kind of like a scraper just to help me, you know, guide the tissue paper along, and that just happened to be a leftover Christmas gift box, so use what you can, right? Once I had everything all, smoothed out, I just took like a wet cloth and I just went around the edges and removed all that excess Mod Podge. I just didn't really want it to dry all funky. So next I went in with some table scatter, just kind of messing around. I thought I was going to glue down these pieces into like a really cute heart pattern, but that's not the direction I go. Then I jump in with those cute little grapevine hearts that I was talking about. Here I'm just kind of showing you an example of what could have been. But I do decide to paint mine with this Kills by Chalk paint. Just give it a really all over messy paint job. I don't cover it entirely. I leave some of that brown popping through. So next I just glue the 2 outer hearts flat against the charger plate, and then for the middle one I just glued it right on top of those 2 outer hearts. My last step was just to add a sawtooth hanger to be able to hang it up. And here is how this one turned out. Way cute, so simple and so easy, but yeah, such a great turnout. Also, I do want to point out that I really love how the second layer of tissue paper really just worked in my favor, because as you can see, the first layer, the hearts are like faintly showing through, and then you have the second layer which are a little bit more prominent, so it's so cute. I love the turnout. Alright, for my next project, I will again be using 3 of those grapevine heart wreaths, and then I'm also going to paint them white as well. Just an all-over wishy-washy paint job. It doesn't have to be completely perfect. Next, I go in with these raw wooden beads from Michaels, and I kind of just pick out, some different sizes that I thought would just, give me a good pattern. I don't really think I stuck to that pattern that I had in mind originally, but it gave me a good starting point. Next, I go in with this flamenco red color, which is from Apple Barrel Paints. It's just like an acrylic paint. And then I paint 3 of those beads red. I paint about 1/3 of them white, again with that Kills White chalk paint, and then I leave 1/3 of them just in their raw natural color. Later on down the road, I do end up painting those raw natural beads in like a pink color. Just once I was finished with this, project the way that it looked, I just wasn't happy with it and it needed something else. So we'll get to that when it comes. But for this part, I start just stringing the beads together in kind of a pattern that, I felt looked good. I use this pink jute twine, which is from Target Dollar Spot. I got that last year. I don't know if they have them this year or not as well, but it's really cute. I just thought it would give it that pink element that it needed, but it didn't really come through the way that I had strung the string onto the hearts, so that's why I added the pink later on. Anyways, so like I said, I strung the beads onto the jute twine, and I left a little at the ends. That way I could slip the jute twine through the tops and the bottom of each heart, but separately. So you have a strand at the top and you're going to tie a knot close to the base as possible, and then just cut the excess off and then add a little hot glue so it doesn't come through that heart and fall apart. Then you're going to take a second string and you're going to attach it to the bottom like I'm doing here, and then you're just going to tie that little knot again as close to the base just to keep the string nice and taut. You just want to keep it, the beads nice and tight together. Snip off the excess, add some hot glue, and that one is done. So now you're just going to do the same thing for the other hearts, but then you're going to attach them together. So we don't want the strings coming through the middle of those grapevine hearts. I just want the little knots, to be at the tops and the bottoms of each of those grapevine hearts without seeing the string. Doing this just allows you to have a really cute, like, vertical hanging garland. So cute. Also, I just want to point out that thankfully those grapevine hearts have a couple of layers, so as long as you're able to pry open the tops and the bottom, the jute twine just slips right through and allows you to be able to make those knots that tie each of the strands together. And here's how it turned out originally. I'd left it like this for like a day and a half, and I just kept looking at it and I was like, it needs something else. So after, the next day, I went in and I mixed this cameo coral from Kills and then this peony color from Dixie Belle, just to get this really cute, like softer pink. I didn't want it super bright, but I didn't want it really, really dull. So I ended up painting, the natural beads, and then the one in the middle, I just painted the two beads that were next to that red bead and just added the pink there, but honestly, it looks so much better like that. But when I was doing that, I decided to take it one step further, and I went in with these Dollar Tree like wooden heart stickers. I picked out two pink ones and a red one, but of course I had to paint them to match the colors that I had already painted on the garland. So I did that, and then next I went in with this clear fishing wire. I cut 3 different strands about the same size, but just a little bit longer than the size of the grapevine hearts. I just needed something to hold on to while that glue was drying. So I added a dab of glue at the top and the bottom of each different heart, and I held the string there just to give it time to dry, just to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. Once that glue had time to dry, I snipped off the excess fishing wire. Then I went in with those little hearts that I painted. I'm going to add the pink ones to the top and the bottom grapevine hearts, and then that red one went in the middle. I just added a strip of hot glue from top to bottom of each of the wooden hearts, and then I glued them directly into the middle on those fishing wire strands. And this is how that one turned out. Absolutely stunning, you guys. This is probably one of my favorite pieces that I made in this video. I just love it so much. The pink really brought it to life, in my opinion, and then you have those floating hearts in the middle. Yes, way too adorable. So I just really wanted to show a couple of different backgrounds to you guys for this piece, just to give you the full effect of just how cool those little floating hearts are in between those little grapevine wreaths. Way too cool, you guys. I absolutely love it. So glad I added the pink touches. It's definitely what it needed. Okay, we are on to my third grapevine heart project, and for this one I went in with 3 of the little houses, wooden houses from Dollar Tree. I chose all different sizes for this project. I just really liked, that variety and that dimension of each of the houses. So next I went in with really pretty scrapbook paper from Michaels. It's like a softer pink variety color. It's very neutral, natural. I really loved it. I thought it gave it a good, Valentine-y effect. I'm pretty sure Valentine-y is a word. I don't know. At least in my vocabulary it is, so. Anyways, I just, really liked it. Valentine's, day decor, but it also could be used as just everyday home decor. So I laid each of the houses down onto the scrapbook paper, and I traced each of the outer edges of the houses. So it's obviously not the size of the middle of each house, so it gave me a good starting point. So I just had to trim here and there until it was, cut perfectly to fit in the middle of those houses. Once they were able to fit in there perfectly, I just laid down my Mod Podge and just smoothed out that scrapbook paper. For this next part, I just ended up doing it off camera. I went in with my Cricut machine and printed out a cute little saying on some permanent vinyl. The saying says, "Love lives here." I also printed out some really tiny black little hearts that I thought paired really well with the saying. So then I went in with the grapevine hearts and just kind of placed them down to give me an idea of where I would need to place the words so that they were centered directly in the middle of those grapevine hearts. So yeah, after everything was nice and centered and placed down, my last step was to just take my hot glue gun and glue each of the grapevine hearts right around each of those words. And here is how they turned out, you guys! Oh my gosh! Way too cute. I cannot get enough. It says "Love lives here," and I just feel like it's really has that Valentine's aspect, but it's also great just to leave around for everyday home decor if you wanted to. So Perfect, obsessed, cannot get enough of them. Alright, moving along to my fourth project. For this one, again, you know, 3 seems to be the hot number for these DIY projects that I did. But again, 3 of the grapevine hearts, and I do leave them in their natural state this time, like I did with the last project. And then I go in with 3 different burlap colors that are from Dollar Tree, the pink one, the red one, and that brown color. So cute. So I just basically line up the grapevine hearts onto the burlap piece. I just want to make sure that there's no gaps in between. So I'm making a background for those grapevine hearts basically. So once I cut them to fit and I glued them down so no gaps or nothing from the natural background was showing, I just went in, you know, I tried to go in with that trusty X-Acto knife. Didn't really work that well, obviously. Don't worry, I did order a new X-Acto knife. Problem solved there. But my scissors ended up working, you know, really, really well. So I just ended up cutting all the excess burlap pieces off of the hearts. You're just kind of following the shape of each of those different grapevine hearts. Alright you guys, here is how this project turned out. Oh my gosh, those little backgrounds, can you even? Way too adorable. Just kidding, this is not where this project ends. So next I just go in with these longer wooden dowels from Dollar Tree, and I start gluing the grapevine hearts starting at the top and just working my way down, just making sure that each of the grapevine hearts are touching each other. Way cute. It looks like a little faux lollipop or something. It's, you know, absolutely adorable. So I go in next with a little tin bucket that I got from Dollar General during Christmas time. It's solid white, so I was like, you know, it's going to be perfect to just transition to Valentine's Day decor. So I use that, and then I go in with a foam block and I just cut it to fit so it fits more naturally into that bucket. Add a little bit of hot glue to the bottom. Then I do poke a hole using my dowel just so I have a spot to add some hot glue just to make sure it's extra sturdy, and just glue that stick right into there. So next I go in with these Dollar Tree roses and I just cover the top of that bucket completely with them. I add some darker flowers here and there, but ultimately I just did not like it. When all was said and done, it was just screaming like, wedding centerpiece, wedding centerpiece. And obviously that was not the look I was going for at the time. Like, don't get me wrong, it was beautiful, stunning. But I don't know, just something about the bottom, it was just too white and natural. So I do end up changing it out completely. So I then go in with this burlap sheet from the 99-cent only store and I cut it, you know, a pretty good size. I originally planned to glue it around the bucket just to give it some nice texture and stuff. I thought that was really going to help. So that's why I originally had cut it that big. Then I gave it an all over coat of that Kills White chalk paint. And here you can see that I just cut it to kind of fit the top of the bucket, the size. I cut a little slit so that way it can just kind of form around that dowel and around that block, and I kind of just tucked it into the bucket. But again here, another change, I went in with the red bucket from Dollar General, you know, that I found during Christmas time as well. Re-glued the foam piece in there and then just, you know, tucked the burlap in, added some hot glue so that way it didn't go anywhere. And then I just started adding flowers a little bit more sparsely this time, that way you could still see the burlap at the bottom. And this is how this one turned out. Honestly, so much better. I don't know what it was with the white at the bottom. I'm thinking maybe I could have left the original roses and flowers covering the whole top and just changed out the bucket, and it probably would have been 10 times better. But yeah, just something wasn't doing it for me. But since I made all these changes, yes, absolutely love it. Way too cute. Okay, yay, on to the 5th project. This one is super fun. So I went in with 4 of those cubed blocks from Dollar Tree, and I gave them 2 coats of that Kills White chalk paint. And then I will be using these smaller wooden dowels from Dollar Tree as well. Obviously I needed 4 because I had chosen 4 of the blocks. Then I just kind of measured a little starting center point. I just wanted to make sure that everything was nice and centered. Used my drill, and I drilled about maybe 3/4 of an inch down. I just wanted to give the dowels some good space for me to add some hot glue and for them to just stay, you know, nice and secure in place. So once I had each of them all drilled out and everything was in place, I did go in with that paint mixture that I mixed earlier in the video with the Peony from Dixie Belle and then the Cameo Coral from Kills Chalk Paint, sorry. And then I used that Flamenco Red again. I painted 2 of the dowels red and 2 of them pink. I just really wanted to have this alternating effect on the colors. Then after the dowels were all painted, I went in with these wooden letters from Dollar Tree as well, and I picked out the letters to spell love. So cute, right? Just another, you know, Valentine's aspect to bring to this project. And I did paint the letters in alternating colors as well. So I painted the L and the V pink and then the O and the E red. So wherever you have a pink letter, you're going to have a red stick, and then wherever you have a red letter, you're going to have a pink stick. So it's just alternating back and forth. Way too cute. So I glued those letters on the front of the blocks. So basically the top where I drilled in, well, where I drilled the hole, that's the top. So just pick a side that looks good, and we call that the front. Next, I just picked out 4 more of the Grapevine hearts. And again, I'm going to glue them at the top of the dowel. I just want to make sure that the top of the dowel is flush with the bottom little V of each of the hearts. You don't want the dowel to come through. Added hot glue, and once that was done, I just went in with the E6000 because E6000 is a little stronger, more sturdy bond. I just didn't want those hearts to fall off later on. My last step for this project was to go in with that berry garland, which I used the one from Christmas time, but it is the exact same as the white ones from the Valentine's line this year as well. So I just thought I would use some of my Christmas decor up, you know, instead of saving it for next year. So I cut 4 strands that were identical in size, and I started at the top of the middle of each of the hearts, and I just wrapped them around till I got to the bottom of the hearts. And this garland is really nice because it is made with like a wire, so I didn't really need any hot glue for this step. I definitely could have added some, but it just wraps really, really nicely. And here's the final look for this project. Oh my goodness, you guys. Adorable. I really love it. You can have the blocks, you know, right up against each other like I have shown you guys here, or you can kind of separate them and like stagger them. You can spread the L and the O from the V and the E and maybe put like a really cute like knickknack or a candle or such in between them. So many options there. Love it. Okie dokie, moving on to my 6th and final project for this video, going in with the last of my Grapevine hearts, which I had 4 left. Super awesome, so excited about that. I then went in with this like hanging garland from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to be using 4 of the hearts. I used the bottom 4 because the top one has a hole in it, so I just didn't want that hole at the top. So I take them apart, I took the ribbon off, and then I gave each of them 2 coats of that Kills white chalk paint. Once they all had a nice thick coat of paint, I went in with this sea sponge, and then again I used those pink and those red colors that I've used throughout the video, and I dabbed a little bit of pink on one corner and a little bit of red on the other, and I just kind of went in a very like not strategic pattern. I just kind of plopped and plopped and plopped here and there, and this is how that technique turned out. Really, really love it. This is like new. I don't think I've ever done like a sea sponge technique like this, so I am definitely eager to try it again, that's for sure. I just really love the way it turned out. So then I just stacked them all on top of each other because I needed to drill some holes. That way I could add some jute twine because I'm going to be making a garland. So I added some, you know, dots at the top that I thought I was going to be drilling there, but then I was like, oh yeah, the hearts are different sizes, like the Grapevine hearts are different sizes. So I kind of needed to find a happy medium that would allow me to add the string and still fit each of the Grapevine hearts in there right in the middle. So once I found that sweet spot, I just went in with my drill, made sure not to drill through my tabletop. There you can see the 2 holes that I made. They're kind of more on the sides, maybe towards the middle of each of the hearts. Next, I just started stringing my jute twine through there. This jute twine is from Walmart. I just really love this one way more than the Dollar Tree jute twine. It's nice and thick and just, yeah, very sturdy. So once I had that all strung through there, I just needed to glue the little grapevine hearts down right in the middle. But I did forget to do one important step before I strung that jute twine through there. So that is what I'm about to do now. I forgot that I wanted to add some more of those really cute little wooden beads on there. So I did 5 sets of like a bigger white painted ball, and then on the sides you have a pink one and a red one that are just like kind of smaller in size. So again, I did 5 sets of this little pattern right here. Once they were all painted, I just had to, you know, take the jute twine out and then restring those beads on there, and then restring the jute twine through the hearts, and just to complete that garland. Alrighty, you guys, and here is how the last and final project turned out. Oh my goodness, absolutely stunning. I really love this one. I just really love, you know, that unique characteristic that the sea sponge really gave this piece. So different, so unique, but yeah, it just really stands out. It just, you know, packs a punch. I absolutely could not be happier with it. Love it. Okay guys, that is a wrap. All these projects are finished. I just wanted to give you, you know, another quick little walkthrough of the projects that I made for this video. So I personally decided to decorate in a more traditional way this year for my Valentine's decor. Speaking in terms of like just my color choices, I really wanted, you know, all those reds and pinks to come through, and you just have, you know, some white here and there, and maybe throw in a little bit of purple or whatnot. So I understand, you know, that might not be for everybody, but it is mostly like the design aspect of each piece that I'm really hoping that you guys will be inspired by. So if there's a project that you just really love, but the colors are not your thing, you know, it's really easy to change out the colors of things. So definitely, if you guys decide to make something similar to what I have made, don't forget to tag me on Facebook or Instagram. I would really love to see what you guys come up with. Also, you know, hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. I ultimately made all these things for my house, you know, and personal use, but I did have you guys in mind as well. I just am really hoping that I'm able to make things for my house, but that inspires you to make them for your house as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a couple of comments down below. Let me know which one is your favorite, which one do you plan on making. Maybe were you able to find the grapevine hearts this year? Are you still on the hunt for them? Because they seem to be a pretty, you know, hot item this year. They are way too cute, super versatile. You can do so many things with these, you guys. So definitely, if you're able to, pick up a couple packs of these grapevine hearts. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, you guys. I am so happy, you know, and thankful that you guys are a part of the Dying to DIY fam. It means so much to me. I cannot express my gratitude enough to you guys. So thank you so much. We are just such an awesome fam here, and I have some really cool stuff in store for you guys that I think you are going to love. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you have not already, because you just don't want to miss out on all the cool future videos. Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for stopping by, spending a little bit of your time with me. I definitely appreciate it more than you know. So thanks for being awesome. Keep staying awesome, and I will see you guys in the next one.